Hello, and welcome back to another video. You guys seem to really like that de-influencing you from running gear video that I did, so I decided to do another piece of content kind of similar. This is running advice for people who are, maybe you're new to running and you just want to make sure that you're doing things well so that you're seeing improvements in your running. Maybe you've been in the game for a really long time and you're trying to get faster. So here is reasons why you are not getting faster. Let's begin with my favorite thing to talk about, which is underfueling. You might not be getting faster because you are underfueling. Underfueling can lead to a lack of performance improvement because your body's just not getting the energy that it needs from food to refill your glycogen depletion that you get, and then also just to keep you functioning properly and keep all your organs functioning properly. It could lead to the female athlete triad, which is menstrual dysfunction or losing your period completely, or your period maybe changing significantly, getting a lot shorter and a lot lighter, low bone mineral density. So obviously the only way that you really find that one out is if you have a stress fracture or something like that. And then low energy availability, just being maybe having a hard time focusing, having a hard time getting things done during the day, getting really exhausted and fatigued after smaller tasks. So if you're feeling any of those things, you could have the female athlete triad. Obviously, you need to talk to your doctor. I'm not a doctor. Underfueling, big no-no. Weight loss to get faster, just to be very clear, weight loss to get faster can be beneficial. I'm not saying that it's not beneficial, but it's not necessarily, it's not a correlation of because you lost weight, you got faster. I PR'd in my marathon weighing 10 pounds more. I'm gonna put a picture up of when I first ran my marathon. So look it, and I weighed 10 pounds more when I PR'd in the marathon by 20 minutes. So if that doesn't tell you something, I definitely gained a ton of muscle in my legs. I was eating really well, I was eating a lot to match my training. And I definitely felt like I was so much faster, even though I weighed more. So it's not a direct correlation. And if you're underfueling, you will hurt yourself in the long term. Another reason why you might not be getting faster is obviously you might not be running fast at all. So that one's kind of obvious. You might see gains in speed from just continuously running at an easy pace. Your cardio is going to get better, your body's going to make adaptations, it might even get more efficient at running, so you don't necessarily have to practice running faster to maybe see some speed gains in your running if you're doing a lot more running than you were before. But if you already have your base built and you want to see speed gains, you have to do speed work. Speed work doesn't necessarily have to be a track workout or going to the gym and sprinting on the treadmill. You can do speed workout with a fartlek style workout. You can literally be out on your run and just pick something that you're gonna run faster to, and for 20 seconds you just run a little bit faster. And maybe you do that 10 times. I love a fartlek style workout, so give that a try. If you wanna play with speed work a little bit, fartlek style workouts are awesome. Generally, if you're gonna introduce speed work into your training, you kinda wanna follow the 80-20 rule. 80% of your runs should be done at easy pace, or 80% of your mileage should be done at an easy pace. 20% can be more of an interval pace or a threshold pace, or something that pushes your threshold for speed a little bit. So let's get on to the next thing of why you might not be getting faster. If you are doing all of your easy runs and all of your mileage is way too fast. So here's what happens if you do that. If your mileage is too fast, your body doesn't have time to recover. Recovery is where your body makes adaptations from your training. So the training is the stress, the rest is the rebuild. So you're knocking things down, your body is rebuilding it like a really strong house, right? You're building a house brick by brick. You hear people say that when they're working out, oh, brick by brick you're building. So if you're doing all of your runs all the time at really fast paces that are not giving you time to recover and taking more of a recovery pace in some of your runs, then you're not going to be able to recover, and you're eventually going to overstress, injury. So it's not a guarantee. I'm just saying that could be why you're not getting faster. Another reason why you might not be getting faster is because you're stressed in your everyday life. So stress comes into the body from your workouts, but it also comes into your body any other way. So like your work, your relationships, your life could be just really stressful. That stress isn't necessarily like segmented out by your body. So it doesn't know like, oh, this stress is from job, therefore it shouldn't affect running. Your body doesn't know that. Stress is just stress. So if you're experiencing a lot of stress in other areas of your life and you're noticing that your running isn't really seeing any gains, that could be why. Another reason you might not be seeing speed gains in your running is because you are not recovering. And this varies from person to person. Like there's not a recipe for how to recover properly, how much sleep is really needed. That's totally you. That's like you listening to your body, you deciding what feels right. When you do get good sleep, your body is able to recover. Like I said earlier, that's where the adaptations happen. That's where you get increased mitochondrial density, you get higher red blood cell count, you're gonna see improved performance because of these things, your body just becoming that brick house that is like not able to be toppled down. Sleep and rest, very important. That might be why. If you're not sleeping, you're not getting adequate sleep and you're not giving your body enough sleep, that could be why you're not getting faster. Another reason why you might not be getting faster is because you maybe have been running for a really long time. So the ability to see improvement in your performance is more difficult because you might be kind of maxing out that performance capability that your body has, which is like kind of hard to hear a little bit, but it makes sense if you are years into your running journey, decades into your running journey, and you're trying to PR in the marathon and your last PR was a really fast PR, maybe you hit 3 hours in the marathon. Seeing an improvement off of that is going to be a lot harder than somebody who just started their running journey. Maybe they ran their first marathon just to finish it, and then now they're trying to make a time improvement. When someone's newer to running, it's just easier for them to make these really big PRs and these really big gains because their body is completely new to the sport. They're gonna start practicing running, they're gonna get better at running, and then they're gonna get faster at running a lot faster. Does that make sense? Am I saying that correctly? So when you've been in the sport longer and you're reaching that full potential, it's just a lot harder to see really big gains. So you might not be seeing huge speed gains or PRs because maybe it's like a 1 minute improvement that you're going for, or you're just trying to reach for that like a couple seconds per mile marathon PR. That's gonna be a lot harder to do when you're faster and when you've been doing it for a long time. You'll see like elite marathoners are celebrating 2 minutes faster on their marathon, 3 minutes. Like that's a huge gain. When you see an elite marathoner make a 20-minute gain on their marathon time, they're 20 minutes faster, they're doping. That's what's happening. They're taking drugs. And I'm not positive about that, but I feel pretty confident. Another thing, and this is actually like my favorite thing to talk about, race day anxiety can be preventing you from making really big speed gains. This is specifically talking about going for one of those race day PRs. Trying to PR on race day and you have race day anxiety. It's such a thing. Like running is such a mental game that race day performance can sometimes be like mentally very make or break. And if you're struggling with that and you're having a hard time on race day because you're just feeling a ton of anxiety, confidence on race day is a skill that you develop. So it's not something that just some people have it, some people don't. It's a practice. That mental game is practice. And it's practiced on your long runs. It's practiced in your daily training, kind of like where you let your mind go when you think something isn't possible. Because the reality is, if you're training for a marathon, you're not gonna run a marathon before you show up on race day. You have to just assume that your training was good enough and that you put in the work, you laid those bricks, you built that house, and now you get to show up on the start line and just absolutely crush 26.2 miles, even though you've never done it before. Really like developing that confidence and that performance confidence. This goes deep into like sports psychology. There's people who have dedicated their entire careers to helping athletes with this. So if you struggle with it, just know like a lot of big time athletes struggle with it too. Really getting rid of those limiting beliefs that you show up on race day and think like, there's no way I can do this. There's just no freaking way. I've never done it before. Trying to get rid of those through the training, through just mental practice. For example, just this weekend, if you watched my vlog, shout out to my short little vlog because I was sick all last week. But I had on the schedule to run a 14-mile long run, which might not sound like a lot to you. It might sound like a lot to some of you, I don't know. To me, that felt like a lot because I haven't run that far since having a baby. It's probably been like 7 or 8 months since I've run more than a half marathon. So a 14-mile long run felt so long, and I started the run thinking like, there's just no freaking way I'm gonna finish this. Like, I don't think I could do it. And I just really tried to not listen to that voice that was saying that towards the miles where I knew I could mentally break down. So kind of like the middle of the run is where I feel the most like potential mental breakdown for not believing that I can finish it. Once I get to the like last 3 or 4 miles, I'm like, I'm doing it. So I did it. And what's really cool about that is even though I had this little voice in my head that said, there's no way, a stronger voice said, no, I'm gonna do it, and I did it. So what's really cool about running, and this is kind of where the magic of the sport comes in my opinion, is that bleeds into the rest of your life of like, I woke up in the morning and I didn't think I could do something. There was a part of me that didn't think I could do something, but then I did it. And that is a really, really awesome feeling when you accomplish something that you're just not quite sure. And every single time you show up to run and you have that feeling and you decide to do it anyways, you're kind of like building that confidence and building that hope that you are capable of making it to the distance, even if you never have before. So that's the magic of the sport. I love it so much. If you have race day anxiety, or if you have like a psychological thing happening where you're struggling with training because you just don't believe you can do it, it's just practice. You just gotta practice. You gotta put goals that are within reach physically, but maybe a little tough mentally, and you just, boom, you do it. So that's it. I hope this video helped on why you might not be getting faster. I hope that it helps you make changes that help you get faster. And if you're not interested in getting faster, then I'm not sure why you watch this, but I'm happy that you're here. Like and subscribe, obviously, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Cool.